Too stupid to realize it until you were gone. I know, Maya said simply. That's your punishment, Derek. Living with that knowledge forever. The crisis. 2 days later, Maya was packing to return to Singapore when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Maya? This is Patricia Williams. Something's happened. It's Derek. Maya's stomach dropped. What happened? There was an accident. Derek and Sophie were driving to the hospital. Sophie went into early labor. Derek was rushing, and Patricia's voice broke. Another car ran a red light. They crashed. Is he? He's alive. But he's in critical condition. And Maya? Patricia paused. He's been asking for you. Maya's hands went cold. What about Sophie? She's okay. The baby is okay. They're delivering by emergency C-section right now. But Derek. Patricia's voice wavered. The doctors aren't sure he'll make it. He keeps saying your name. Asking if you're there. Maya stood frozen. Every logical part of her brain said to stay away. Derek had hurt her. She owed him nothing. She should let him face this crisis with the woman he had chosen. But another part of her, a deeper part, remembered the boy who had once loved her. Who had held her when she cried about her own problems. To this, will you stay? Will you run the company yourself? No. I'll appoint a CEO I trust. I'll be on the board of directors and I'll check in regularly, but my primary work is still in Singapore. This would be one investment among many. I see. Derek looked down at his hands. So you would own part of my company, control my company, but you wouldn't even be here. You would just be a voice on conference calls, a signature on documents. That's typically how investment works, yes. It's poetic, really. Derek gave a bitter laugh. You're in my life but untouchable. Powerful over my future but distant. I can't reach you, can't hurt you, can't affect you at all. But you can affect me, control me, decide my fate. Maya hadn't thought of it that way, but he was right. If you don't like the terms, walk away. Find another investor. Try to save the company yourself. We both know there is no other investor. And I can't save it myself. I've tried. Derek looked up, his eyes meeting hers. I'll agree to your terms. All of them. Just, can I ask one thing? What? Why are you really doing this? Is it revenge? Is it to keep control over me? Is it to prove how much better you are now? Maya considered the question honestly. Maybe a little of all three, she admitted. But mostly, it's business. Your company has value. With the right management, it could be very successful. And I like successful investments. That's all I am now? An investment? That's all you've ever been to me, Derek. Even when we were together, I was investing in you. In us. In a future together. But you proved to be a bad investment then. Maybe you'll be a better one now. The words were cold, but true. Derek nodded slowly. When do we sign? My lawyers will draw up the paperwork. We'll sign by the end of the week. As Derek stood to leave, he paused. Maya? For what it's worth, I am sorry. Not just for what I did, but for losing you. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I was. She gestured for him to sit. I've reviewed everything. Your company is in trouble, but it's not beyond saving. Hope flared in Derek's eyes. So you'll invest? I'm considering it. But my terms will be non-negotiable. If you can't accept them, this conversation ends now. Whatever you need. Name it. Maya pulled out a folder. First, I would be purchasing 40% of the company. That makes me the largest single shareholder and gives me significant control over major decisions. Derek paled but nodded. Second, there will be a complete restructuring of leadership. A new board of directors will be appointed, with representatives of my choosing. All major decisions will require board approval. Maya, that means I would lose control of my own company. Your own company that is currently failing, Maya said bluntly. Derek, you're a talented marketer, but you're not a good CEO. The numbers prove it. You make emotional decisions, you avoid difficult conversations, and you've let personal problems affect business judgment. Derek flinched but couldn't argue. The truth was too obvious. Third, Maya continued, Sophie will no longer work for the company. I won't have someone who betrayed me in a position of influence in a company I'm investing in. But she's pregnant. She needs the job. Then give her a generous severance package. Help her find another position elsewhere. But she doesn't stay at Williams Digital Marketing. Derek's hand shook as he gripped his coffee cup. These are harsh terms. These are business terms. Fair terms, actually, considering the situation. I could buy the company outright for much less than what I'm offering. This way, you retain majority ownership and stay on as head of creative. You keep your company. You just don't get to run it into the ground anymore. Silence stretched between them. Maya watched emotions play across Derek's face. Pride warring with desperation. Hope fighting with resentment. Finally, he spoke. If I agree. Paney had excellent technological infrastructure. Their remaining clients showed high satisfaction rates. They had a few innovative programs that could be marketed better. With the right leadership, strategic vision, and capital injection, the company could recover. The question was, did Maya want to be involved in that recovery? Her phone rang. Richard, calling from Singapore. Have you reviewed the Williams file? He asked without preamble. Yes. It's a mess, but fixable. Your personal feelings aside, is it a good investment? Maya paused. Potentially. With major restructuring and new leadership. New leadership, Richard repeated. Meaning Derek Williams would have to step down. Possibly. Or at the very least, answer to a board of directors who would hold him accountable. Richard was quiet for a moment. Maya, I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to be honest. If this wasn't Derek's company, would you invest? Maya looked at the report spread across her desk. Yes, she admitted. The bones are good. The foundation is solid. It just needs someone with vision to rebuild. Then make your decision based on business, not emotion. If you invest, do it because it's smart. If you walk away, do it because the numbers don't work. Not because of history. After hanging up, Maya sat with Richard's advice. He was right. She had built her success on smart decisions, not emotional ones. This should be no different. She picked up her phone and called Derek. I've reviewed your financials. Meet me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at the Blue Moon Cafe. Come alone. The proposal. The Blue Moon Cafe was the same place where Maya and Derek had their first date, years ago. Maya had chosen it deliberately. A reminder of what once was and could never be again. Derek arrived exactly on time, looking nervous. He wore a suit but had clearly lost weight. He looked tired, worn down by stress. Maya, thank you for meeting with me. Long. She thought about the woman she had been 4 years ago. Naive. Trusting. Easy to hurt. And she thought about the woman she was now. Strong. Successful. Harder to break. Derek and Sophie had hurt her terribly. But in doing so, they had forced her to become this new version of herself. And she liked who she was now. She was proud of what she had built. If she spent her energy destroying them, she would be giving them power they didn't deserve. She would be letting old pain control her new life. Maya made a decision. She would review Derek's company professionally. If it had merit, she would invest. Not as a favor. Not as revenge, but as a businesswoman seeing an opportunity. And then she would return to Singapore. To her real life. To the empire she was building. Derek and Sophie would remain here, in this small city, living with their choices. That was punishment enough. Maya picked up her phone and sent a message to her assistant, "Book my return flight for 3 days from now. I'm ready to go home." As she prepared for bed, Maya felt lighter than she had in years. The weight of revenge, of anger, of old pain was finally lifting. She was free. Tomorrow she would review the financials. She would make a smart business decision. And then she would leave this chapter of her life behind forever. But fate, as it turned out, had other plans. Part 3, Truth and Redemption. The review. Maya spent the next day in her hotel suite, reviewing the financial documents Derek's company had sent over. Her assistant had also compiled additional research from public records, industry reports, and competitor analysis. The picture was troubling. Williams' digital marketing had been profitable once, but poor decisions over the past 2 years had eroded their client base. They had lost their 3 biggest accounts to competitors. Their creative team had shrunk due to layoffs. Their reputation in the industry was suffering. But underneath the problems, Maya could see potential. The calm. "Do have to marry someone just because you're having their baby?" Sophie shook her head. "You don't understand. Derek is trying. He's really trying to love me. But every time he looks at me, I see the guilt in his eyes. I see him comparing me to you. I see him wishing I was you." Something in Sophie's words struck Maya. She had been so focused on her own pain that she had never considered their pain. And yes, they deserved it. They had earned every moment of suffering. But somehow, seeing Sophie's tears, her swollen belly, her obvious misery, Maya felt her anger beginning to drain away. "I don't forgive you," Maya said quietly. "I don't think I ever will. What you did was unforgivable. I know. But I do hope you find some kind of happiness. Not for your sake. For your baby's sake. Children deserve parents who aren't trapped in guilt and regret." Sophie nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry, Maya. I'm so sorry. I know it doesn't mean anything now. I know it's too late. But I am sorry." Maya turned and walked away. As she stepped into the cool night air, she felt something shift inside her chest. The tight, hard knot of anger that had lived there for 4 years began to loosen. Just slightly. Just enough to let her breathe a little easier. Maybe Patricia was right. Maybe revenge wasn't the answer. Maybe the real victory was simply surviving, thriving, and moving on. The choice ahead. Back in her hotel suite, Maya stood at the window, looking out at the city lights. Her phone buzzed with messages. Business contacts from the gala. Opportunities. Potential deals. One message stood out. From Derek, "Thank you for agreeing to review our financials. Regardless of your decision, thank you for listening tonight. You didn't have to. You would have been justified in destroying me. Your mercy means more than you know." Maya stared at the message for a long time. Mercy. Was that what she had shown? Or was it simply exhaustion? Exhaustion from carrying hate for so. This wasn't the plan. The plan was to destroy him, not to help him. But maybe, she thought, maybe the best revenge wasn't destruction. Maybe it was showing him exactly what he had lost. Showing him she was better, stronger, more successful than he could ever be. And then walking away, leaving him to live with that knowledge forever. The unexpected encounter. Maya decided to leave early. The gala was winding down, and she had accomplished what she came for. Derek and Sophie had seen her success. The message was delivered. Now she just wanted to return to her hotel and process everything. She collected her coat and headed for the exit. The hallway was quiet, lit by soft sconces. Her heels echoed on marble floors. Maya, wait. She turned. Sophie was hurrying after her, awkward in high heels and her pregnant belly. Don't run from me, Sophie panted, reaching her. Please. Just give me 5 minutes. Why should I? Because I owe you the truth. Sophie's eyes were rimmed with red. Up close, Maya could see she had been crying. Her makeup was smudged. I've been carrying this guilt for 4 years. It's eating me alive. Good, Maya said, turning away. Sophie grabbed her arm. I loved him, she burst out. I loved Derek for years before you two even met. But he never saw me that way. Never. And then you came along, and he fell for you so fast, so completely. I was jealous. I was hurt. And when he got drunk at that party and kissed me, I didn't push him away. I encouraged it. Maya stared at her. So this is all my fault? For existing? No. No, that's not what I mean. Sophie was crying openly now. I mean that I manipulated the situation. I made it happen. Derek feels guilty, but the real villain was me. I destroyed our friendship. I destroyed your relationship. And now I'm trapped in a relationship with someone who will never love me the way he loved you. Then leave him, Maya said coldly. I'm pregnant with his child. So? People co-parent all the time. You Dawn. There is no us, Derek. There never really was there? I was just the convenient, trusting girlfriend while you had your fun with my best friend. It wasn't like that, Derek said desperately. It started as a mistake. One drunken night. And then it just spiraled. I was weak. I was stupid. But Maya, I have thought about you every single day for 4 years. I have hated myself every single day. Good. Maya turned to face him. You should hate yourself. What you did was cruel and cowardly. I know. I know. And I am so sorry. Derek's eyes were red, wet. When you disappeared, I went crazy looking for you. I hired investigators. I called everyone. You just vanished. I left because staying would have destroyed me. I left because I needed to become someone who could never be hurt like that again. And you did, Derek said, looking at her with something like awe. You're incredible now. Powerful. Successful. Everything you always dreamed of being. No thanks to you. I know. Derek took a shaky breath. Maya, I need to ask you something. Not for me. For my company. Williams Digital Marketing is struggling. We need investors. And I heard you were looking at firms in this sector. There it was. The opening Maya had been waiting for. She could crush him now. Refuse him publicly. Destroy his company. Watch him lose everything the way she once lost everything. But something stopped her. Maybe it was Patricia's words. Maybe it was the genuine desperation in Derek's eyes. Maybe it was simply that revenge, when finally within reach, felt emptier than she had imagined. Send me your financial reports, Maya heard herself say. I'll review them professionally. If your company has merit, I'll consider an investment. But Derek? This is business. Pure business. Whatever we once had is dead and buried. Do you understand? Yes, Derek said quickly. Yes, I understand. Thank you, Maya. Thank you. As he walked away, Maya gripped the balcony railing. What was she doing? Ms. Chen, I'm Patricia Williams. Derek's mother. Maya's practiced smile didn't waver, though her stomach tightened. Mrs. Williams. A pleasure. I doubt that, Patricia said dryly. I know who you are. I know what my son did to you. This was unexpected. Maya said nothing, waiting. Patricia sighed. I want you to know that I was against their relationship from the start. Not because of you. Because of what they did to you. How they betrayed you. She paused. I don't expect you to care, but things haven't been easy for them either. Good, Maya said coldly. Sophie's pregnant, Patricia continued. 6 months. Derek proposed, but she keeps putting off the wedding. I think. She hesitated. I think she's having second thoughts. I think she realizes Derek isn't who she thought he was. Maya felt a strange twist in her chest. Not sympathy exactly. But something complicated. Why are you telling me this? Because I know why you're really here, Patricia said quietly. And I want you to know that revenge, while satisfying, rarely brings peace. I've watched Derek suffer with guilt for 4 years. I've watched that guilt eat away at his confidence, his drive, his success. He's not the man he was when he betrayed you. But he's not a better man either. Just a broken one. I don't care, Maya said. But even as she said it, she wondered if it was true. Patricia nodded. Perhaps. But remember this. When you set out on a path of revenge, dig 2 graves. One for your enemy and one for yourself. She touched Maya's arm gently. You've become so successful, so strong. Don't let old pain destroy what you've built. She walked away, leaving Maya standing alone, her champagne suddenly tasteless. The business proposition. Later that evening, Derek approached Maya where she stood on the balcony, away from the crowd. She had expected this. Had prepared for it. Maya, can we talk? Really talk? She didn't look at him. About what? About us. About what happened. About. There is. I was invited, Maya said simply, smiling. I'm exploring investment opportunities in the region. This seemed like the perfect event to reconnect with the local business community. Investment opportunities? Sophie's voice was high, strained. You're an investor now? Among other things. I run a venture capital fund based in Singapore. We focus on innovative startups and struggling companies with potential. Maya let her eyes flicker meaningfully over Derek. I'm particularly interested in digital marketing firms. Understanding dawned in Derek's eyes. Fear followed quickly after. Maya, listen, about what happened. Ancient history, Maya interrupted smoothly. That was years ago. We were all so young then, weren't we? I've moved on completely. In fact, I should thank you both. If you hadn't, well, let's just say your betrayal was the push I needed to become who I was meant to be. The word betrayal hung in the air like a knife. Sophie flinched. Derek's jaw tightened. We tried to reach out, Sophie said weakly. You just disappeared. We were worried. Maya laughed, a light, musical sound that held no warmth. Were you? How thoughtful. Well, as you can see, I'm perfectly fine. Better than fine, actually. She glanced at her diamond watch. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have several meetings scheduled. The mayor is waiting to introduce me to some city council members. She turned to walk away, then paused and looked back. Oh, Derek? I heard Williams' digital marketing has been struggling lately. If you're ever looking for investors or a potential buyout, do reach out. I'm always interested in companies with potential. The look on his face was worth every sleepless night, every tear, every moment of pain from the past 4 years. The unraveling truth. As the evening progressed, Maya found herself cornered by an older woman she didn't recognize. The woman was elegant, in her 60s, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Maya took a glass from a passing waiter and scanned the room. Her eyes found them almost immediately. Derek and Sophie stood near the bar, laughing with a group of business associates. Derek looked older. Still handsome, but there were lines around his eyes that hadn't been there before. His suit was nice but not expensive. The confidence he once radiated seemed forced now, brittle around the edges. Sophie looked much the same. Pretty, blonde, perfect smile. But Maya noticed the way Sophie's hand gripped Derek's arm possessively. The way her eyes constantly scanned the room, as if worried someone better might appear. Maya turned away before they could notice her. Not yet. Let them discover her naturally. Let the shock be complete. The recognition. Maya circulated through the room, greeting business leaders she had connected with through her Singapore work. Several people expressed surprise and delight at seeing her. Maya Chen. I heard you were making waves in Asia, but I didn't know you were coming tonight. The Maya Chen? Your work with that tech startup was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ms. Chen, I'd love to discuss investment opportunities with you. My firm has several projects that might interest you. Maya was gracious with everyone, making mental notes about potential opportunities. She was aware of eyes on her, people trying to figure out who this mysterious, successful young woman was. She was talking to the mayor about infrastructure projects when she heard it. A sharp intake of breath behind her. Maya? She turned slowly, her face a mask of pleasant surprise. Derek. Sophie. What a small world. They stared at her like they had seen a ghost. Sophie's champagne glass trembled in her hand. Derek's face had gone pale. Maya, Derek said again, his voice hoarse. You're here. What are you doing here? The grand entrance. The night of the gala arrived with a perfect golden sunset. Maya stood in her penthouse suite, watching the city lights flicker to life below. Her stylist had just finished. Maya wore a deep emerald gown that hugged her curves before flowing out like water. Diamonds sparkled at her throat and wrists. Her hair was swept up elegantly, revealing the sharp lines of her jaw and neck. She looked powerful. Untouchable. Exactly as she had planned. Her phone buzzed with a message from Richard. Remember, Maya. This is business. Keep your emotions in check. Maya smiled. Richard knew about Derek and Sophie, though she had never told him details. He had pieced it together from her intensity, her drive, her careful questions about William's digital marketing. Always, she texted back. The car ride to the venue felt both too long and too short. Maya's heart raced, but her hands were steady. She had practiced this moment in her mind 1,000 times. She would walk in calmly. She would be gracious. She would show them nothing. The gala was held at the Crystal Hall, the most prestigious venue in the city. As Maya stepped from the car, cameras flashed. Reporters called out questions. Ms. Chen. What brings you back to the city? Ms. Chen. Tell us about your new investment fund. Ms. Chen. Is it true you're looking to acquire local companies? Maya smiled, poised and professional. I'm here to reconnect with my roots and explore opportunities in this wonderful city. No deals are finalized yet, but I'm excited about several possibilities. She glided past the reporters and into the hall. The space was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow prisms across cream walls. Tables draped in gold silk filled the room. Hundreds of elegantly dressed guests mingled, champagne glasses in hand. Liam's digital marketing. Sophie Parker, Senior Vice President of Client Relations at Williams Digital Marketing. They were working together. Of course they were. Maya's hands tightened on the paper. She forced herself to breathe slowly, evenly. This changed nothing. If anything, it made things more interesting. Maya did her research. Williams Digital Marketing was moderately successful but struggling. They had lost several major clients in the past year. Their stock price was declining. Industry rumors suggested they were looking for investors or potentially a buyout. A slow smile spread across Maya's face. This was too perfect. Too absolutely perfect. She made a few phone calls. By the end of the week, Maya had quietly purchased a significant amount of stock in Williams' digital marketing through various shell companies. Not enough to alert anyone. Not yet. But enough to give her leverage when the time was right. The journey home. As Maya's plane descended toward her hometown, she felt her stomach tighten with nerves. She looked different now. Her hair was cut in a sleek, sophisticated style. She wore designer clothes that fit perfectly. She moved with confidence that came from years of boardroom battles and high-stakes negotiations. But inside, part of her was still that heartbroken girl running from Derek's apartment, tears streaming down her face. No. Maya straightened in her seat. That girl was gone. She had died 4 years ago in that bedroom doorway. The woman who emerged from those ashes was someone entirely different. Someone who didn't break. Someone who conquered. The car service she had hired was waiting at the airport. A sleek black Mercedes. As they drove through familiar streets, Maya felt strange. Everything looked the same but smaller somehow. The buildings weren't as tall as she remembered. The streets weren't as wide. She had grown. And this place had stayed the same. They pulled up to the Grand Hotel. The doorman rushed to open her door. Welcome. Chen was a millionaire. More than that. She was someone people noticed. Someone people respected. Someone people feared. The invitation. One evening, Maya was working late in her penthouse office when her assistant knocked. Ms. Chen? This just arrived for you by special courier. It was a heavy cream envelope with gold lettering. Inside was an invitation to a business gala in her hometown. The annual charity event was legendary. Only the most influential business leaders attended. Maya had heard about it for years but never dreamed she would be invited. She stared at the invitation for a long time. 4 years had passed since she left. 4 years of building herself into someone new. Someone stronger. She had intentionally avoided any news from home, blocked anyone who might give her updates about Derek or Sophie. But now, holding this invitation, curiosity burned through her. What had happened to them? Did they get married? Were they still together? Did they ever think about her? Did they feel even a moment of guilt? Maya made a decision. She would go. Not to confront them. Not to cause a scene. But to attend as the successful businesswoman she had become. To walk in with her head high, knowing she had transformed her pain into power. She picked up her phone and called her assistant. Book me a first-class ticket home. And reserve the penthouse suite at the Grand Hotel. I'm going to need a few appointments with the best stylists in the city. I have a gala to attend. Preparing for return. The weeks before the gala were a whirlwind. Maya worked with her team to finalize several deals that would make her return even more impressive. She wasn't just successful now. She was launching a new investment fund focused on innovative startups. The kind of fund that could make or break companies. Her assistant compiled a briefing on all the major attendees at the gala. Maya's eyes scanned the list and stopped cold. There, halfway down the second page, Derek Williams, CEO of Will.